Of course, we'll be back in a different form, I'm sure. Anything at all you can share? Do you plan to work with a streaming service? Any thoughts on your mind of what's next for Top Rank?
Well, that's just it. We're going to work with a big streaming service. We're currently negotiating a deal, and also an over-the-air network. We're going to have more than now. We just have one ESPN, which we have, can only put our events on ESPN. But I think going forward, we'll have 2 or 3 outlets, and that'll make it, I think, going forward, much more palatable to the public, to the fighters, and to us.
Hey man, so Bob Arum, you heard him talk about what's going on with their search for a new TV company. He said it could be, I think, 2 or 3 platforms, 1 major streaming platform and a TV channel. So they're not going to be tied to 1 channel. I don't know who's going to put the bread up to get him. He seems like, you know, he said they're hashing out a deal. I believe the deal was up in July or August. Their deal is up. So I think it might be August something. So, you know, it sounds like they're tying the loose ends. They tying up the loose ends, and so they should have a deal, you know, streaming deal announced with a major streamer. I don't know what that is. A TV channel. I don't know what that is. So it'll be nice to see what they got under the bag. So, you know, really they kind of went with a youth movement. They kind of cut the fat, let guys like Nonito Donaire go, Shakur Stevenson go, Terrence Crawford go, and then they going with an approach of, you know, they going with the approach of, we're gonna, you know, move forward with, you know, guys like Bruce Carrington and guys like Keyshawn Davis and Abdullah Mason, and we're, you know, Richard Torres. We're gonna do a youth movement, and the youth movement keeps your overhead low, so you're not paying out that much money. Therefore, the networks don't need to dish out that money. They don't have a star. Tyson Fury is, you know, really retired, or you're really a Riyadh season fighter, so you don't have that overhead hugging over your head. I mean, for the most part, they don't have any major stars. And when you look at the forecast, you know, they got Genovic, and I think they work with Mbili. Nothing too major on the financial side of the game, but you know, I mean, you know, in my opinion, it's just like you know, it's like well, it's like it's a perfect time. All help build some stars from the ground up. Anayu Inoue. I mean, all these guys are pretty much cheap. So they might be just going with a smaller roster of guys, younger guys, cheaper. Let's blow them up into stars. And, you know, they got Xander Zayas, which I don't see much in him. You know, I'm just not impressed. But he's a young kid, so he still can impress me. They working with Vito Melanecki, another guy I'm not impressed with, but appreciate I appreciate the hustle. You know, but yeah, we'll see what those networks are for Top Rank, and that's good for them. Get your money. You know, if you the young fighters over there, and they'll probably be working with Turkey. You know, Bob was saying they was going to be working with, you know, Al and some of these other guys out here. So, like I said, I think it's a smart thing to do. You know, financially, these fighters are overpaid. Why even get in the game and even try to compete with Al Heyman or Turkey Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, and these guys for overpaying these fighters for something that they not even worth? They're not even worth it. I'll be trying to get away from certain cars, like, but yeah, why even pay for it? Why not? You know, let's shade on our roster. Let's go with more quality than quantity. Let's go with a youth movement. Let's start building some stars from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? But the major ingredient for this to work is people working together. That's the first thing you gotta have is these people working together. And if you don't got these people that's working together, then you ain't gonna win. Then you gotta get back to, matching guys tough. Everybody want to babysit their young fighters, you know what I'm saying, match them tough. But for the most part, man, most of this shit is boxing. Sports is cooked. Everybody talk about how bad place boxing is in. But if we start really looking at it, only sport that's really healthy right now is the NFL amongst the major sports. It's the NFL. So that's the only sport that's really healthy. Hockey is on the uptick, but the MMA, they got kicked off ESPN. Baseball got kicked off ESPN. And now you might find out why. ESPN could be in the NFL red zone sweepstakes. And the NFL, if you didn't see my video, on the NFL for the most part, is looking to sell off some of their own assets like the NFL Network and the NFL Red Zone to Disney to own equity in the company. So they're talking about selling NFL assets. These motherfucking drivers, bro. Man. You gotta wonder, if they had like black people in NASCAR, man, we'd kill that shit. These people can't drive. But yeah, like they're selling off assets for equity in Disney. So they're selling off NFL assets just to get equity. Which just tells you how much ownership is. But that's the dangerous thing about sports. When it start moving because of money, that's how you know you got a problem. When you start caring more about the money than the shield or the integrity of the sport, that's why it's so trash, because everything is about money. It's not about what's best for the sport no more. One thing about sports, you can't make it an all business mentality. It's a trickle down effect. From the owners to the managers, promoters, to the athletes. Now you wonder why the athletes are carrying it like they playing it like it's a business. You can't make a sport about business. And that's what they'll never understand. And where they lose it at. Now, sports like golf and tennis, those are, historically rich people sports. They can do that because their sport was built on wealth. It was built on cash, monetary gain. When you start talking about boxing, basketball, travel baseball is expensive, but, they go to the Dominican Republic and get a bag of rice. And I know people had some comments about my baseball video I did about D. Gordon Strange. And basically what they were saying was like, there's plenty of black people in baseball. No, the fuck it's not. No, it's not. They don't want black kids playing baseball. And I know it because my cousin, 6'6", 6'7", good player. They didn't even want to let him play and he had money. They don't want black people to do it. And that's killing me that a lot of non-black people, they live in this world and they so oblivious to their privilege and they so oblivious to what's going on that they be trying to argue with you, but just look at the statistics. And what they consider, the Dominicans and some of the Spanish, and then fuck out of here. You don't see Major League Baseball going to Africa, my nigga. Going to Haiti and shit, man. But like I said, I ain't tripping on it. But if they want to modernize the sport and make the sport better, they know where they got to go to come get their athletes. They know who turned that shit up. But to be honest, when you look at the overall landscape of sports, even through the media and the sports, this shit is trash. Quite frankly, the shit is trash. Nobody is being them no more. Everybody is engaging in fake beef, and everybody is sensitive, and nobody is being they self. Even when you look at YouTube, the best YouTubers are the ones that's they self, authentically they self. And those are the ones who don't get pushed as hard. Most of these uppity ass niggas or these people on YouTube, it's corny and trash, bro. Most of the people you see on ESPN and Fox is corny and trash. I've been turning that shit off. You look at Hollywood, and there ain't no talent in Hollywood. None. There's no talent in Hollywood, bro. And that's the unfortunate thing about it. There's no talent in Hollywood. None. And that's your problem. So everything is in a bad space. Movies, only really good thing in Hollywood that's in a good space is TV shows. That's the only thing that's semi in a good space. Because you got so many fucking options. If you talking about shit like Love Island, or you talking about some of the Squid Games, or you talking about Game of Thrones, TV shows. It's pretty fucking solid. But other than that, on-air personalities, you know what I'm saying? Actors and actresses in movies are trash. Athletes are trash. They don't come with personality anymore. They don't come with the gift of gab. You know what I'm saying? They don't come with anything no more. They don't come with the passion for the sport. They made this shit a business, bro. You can't make a sport a business, especially a poor man's sport. You can't make it a business. You need some type of starvation or some type of hunger. But hey, it is what it is. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Shout out to Vinny for donating. Check out the Box News playlist. Peace.